Rita was a beautiful woman from Akure. She had a warm smile, a soft voice, and a heart full of dreams. Every man in her area wanted to be with her, but she chose Fred, a smart, rich, and charming man from Lagos. He was not just handsome, he was also a businessman who owned a chain of electronics store. Everyone said they were a perfect couple. They had a big wedding in Lagos, and people came from different states just to see the bride in her shiny white gown. At first, their marriage was full of love, kisses, and laughter, but something changed when Fred started getting jealous. Fred loved Rita too much. He didn't want any other man to even look at her. At first, it was sweet. He would say, "I don't want to share your smile with anyone." But soon, it became too much. He didn't want her to go out alone, answer calls without him hearing, or even wear certain dresses. He started checking her phone, asking who she chatted with, and following her around. Rita felt like a prisoner in her own home. Things got worse when Rita got a job offer as a brand ambassador for a skincare company. It was a big deal, with a huge salary and TV commercials. Fred told her to reject the offer, saying, "You don't need to work. I provide everything." But Rita wanted to work and feel useful. Against his wish, she accepted the job. That was when the real drama started. Fred began acting strange. He would show up at her office without notice. He fired their male driver and replaced him with a female one. He even bribed the security man at her workplace to report everything she did. But Rita didn't know all these things at first. She thought Fred was just being protective until one day she found a hidden recorder under her car seat. She was shocked. Rita decided to confront Fred. "Why are you spying me?" she asked. Fred shouted, "Because I love you and I don't want to lose you to another man." Rita felt broken. She explained, "Love is not fear, love is trust." But Fred didn't understand. He thought every man that smiled at Rita wanted to take her from him. One day, at a company event, Rita was invited to sit next to the CEO, Mr. Fred. Cameras were everywhere, and the next morning, photos of her and the CEO were all over social media. People started saying she was dating her boss. Fred saw the pictures and lost control. He drove straight to the company, stormed into the CEO's office, and shouted, "Stay away from my wife!" Rita was embarrassed. Her boss was shocked. Security had to drag Fred out. That incident almost cost Rita her job. Her boss warned her, "If this happens again, we might have to let you go." Rita begged Fred to stop. She said, "I love you, but you're pushing me away." Fred promised to change, but he didn't. He only became more careful with his spying. Rita decided to test him. She gave her male colleague, Dave, her phone and told him to call her twice every evening, pretending like they were working on a project. As expected, Fred overheard one of the calls and exploded with jealousy. That night, he secretly followed Rita to Dave's house, hoping to catch her cheating. But what he saw shocked him. Dave lived in a facing-a-face house. When Fred peeped through the window, he saw Rita, Dave, and two other colleagues eating suya and drinking soft drinks. While watching a movie, Rita was laughing like a child. Fred stood outside, confused and ashamed. She wasn't cheating, she was just living. The next morning, Fred told Rita he wanted to go on a trip alone to think. He went to Abuja to stay with his cousin Francis, who was a pastor. While there, Fred told Francis everything. Francis said, "Jealousy is not love, it is fear. If you don't fix it, you will lose your wife." Fred began to cry. While Fred was away, Rita felt peace for the first time. She focused on her job, made new friends, and even got promoted. She started going out more, smiling again, and taking care of herself. Then something unexpected happened. She started liking Dave. At first, it was just friendship, but Dave was kind, respectful, and always made her laugh. He never crossed any lines, but Rita began to feel confused. One night, during a late work meeting, Dave touched her hand and looked into her eyes. She pulled back. but something had shifted. She didn't tell anyone. Fred returned 2 weeks later, calmer and more loving. He apologized for everything and promised to trust her. Rita gave him a second chance. Things got better at first, but deep down, Rita was still confused about her feelings. She didn't want to cheat, but she also didn't feel the same fire she once had for Fred. Months passed. One day, Rita discovered she was pregnant. She was shocked and happy, but a voice in her head asked, "Whose baby is it?" She had only kissed Dave once. They didn't do anything else, but the thought still scared her. She went for a test, and the doctor confirmed it was Fred's baby. Relief washed over her. She told Fred, and he jumped for joy. He danced around the house like a child. They started preparing for the baby. But one night, while Fred was asleep, his phone rang. It was a strange number. Rita picked it and heard a woman's voice say, "Fred, when are you coming to see our baby?" Rita's heart stopped. She didn't say anything. The woman kept talking. "Promise to take care of me. Don't act like you don't know me." Rita ended the call and stared at Fred's sleeping face. Her mouth was dry. Her legs were shaking. She quietly took his phone and searched for the number. She found many deleted messages in his recently deleted folder. Messages like, "I miss your touch and our baby looks just like you." Rita couldn't believe it. Fred had a secret child with another woman while he was busy monitoring her every move. The next morning, she didn't say anything. She just packed a small bag and left the house. She sent Fred a message. "I know everything. Don't look for me." Fred ran around Lagos like a madman searching for her. He called her parents. He cried at her office, but Rita was gone. She had gone to Enugu to stay with her friend Clara. While there, she gave birth to a baby girl. Her boss let her work remotely and promoted her again. After 6 months, Fred showed up at her gate. He had lost weight and looked like someone who hadn't slept in days. He knelt down and cried, "Please forgive me. I was the one who didn't trust, but I was the one with the secrets." Rita looked at him, her baby in her arms. She was silent. Fred said, "I have cut off that woman. I only want you. I will do anything to prove that I've changed." Rita didn't speak. She just looked at him and said, "Trust is like paper. Once it's crumpled, it can never be perfect again." Fred begged every day for weeks. He attended therapy, joined a church group, and showed real change. One day, Rita allowed him to hold their baby. He cried like a baby himself. She still didn't return home, but she allowed him to visit every week. Time passed. Slowly, Rita began to believe in love again. Not just love, but trust. Not just words, but action. Fred had learned his lesson. Jealousy almost destroyed their home. But truth and time became the tools that helped them rebuild. And this time, the love was real. Not forced, not controlled, not afraid, just real. The end. Here are three moral lessons from this story. Love without trust leads to destruction. No matter how deep your love is, if you don't trust your partner, the relationship will suffer. Fred claimed to love Rita, but his jealousy and controlling behavior drove her away. True love must be built on trust, not fear, not suspicion. 2. You can't control people to keep them. Trying to control someone's every move doesn't protect the relationship, it ruins it. Fred spied on Rita, made her feel like a prisoner, and tried to manage her life, but in the end, he lost her trust and almost lost her completely. Real love respects freedom. 3. Your actions speak louder than your words. Fred kept saying, "I love you and I'll change," but his actions didn't match his words. Until much later, it was only after he took real steps to become better. Therapy, reflection, letting go of the other woman, that Rita slowly started to believe in him again. Promises mean nothing without action. Please like, share, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more beautiful stories like this. Thanks for watching.